medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today, the subject is deliberate creation works. Deliberate creation works. And what does that actually mean? It means that we as souls, not as body minds, but we as souls have the ability to intentionally and deliberately affect matter creatively. Every one of us intentionally and deliberately can affect matter. The challenge that many of us face is that we think unconsciously, and therefore we believe that matter is outside of our control. Not because it is, but because we believe that we have no control over it. You're raised in an environment to think that conditions for change exist exclusively outside of your body, and yet the greatest number of change that occurs in your life is occurring within your body in any given second. The process of digestion, the process of transmutation of energy in your body is ongoing all the time. Your body is an environment external to who you are as an awareness. Your body is an environment external to who you are as an awareness. And so whatever has been put into our minds from the moment we're born to a certain point in our lives, we have little or no choice over that. And that stuff we become unconscious to. And as long as you're unconscious to the idea of something being a certain way, you cannot change it. But a simple example of how energy is affected, your hand opens and closes on a command, a thought, an invisible thought directing matter. Now, what's the difference between the matter of moving your hand and the matter of the world around you? There is none, but you believe there is a separation between yourself and the world around you, where no separation in actuality exists. Consider your breath. Consider your breath, which moves in and out of your body and is connected to this substance called air and oxygen all around you all the time. Your body is not separate from the greater environment, but your belief in your ability to influence it is what is diminished. Master Jesus always says, whatever you believe, so it shall be done unto you. Please understand this. He understands very clearly that he is not separate from all matter around him, which gave him the power. He's saying it's not really his power. Gave him the awareness that he could direct the Father's house to work on his behalf at any time. He could direct the Father's house to work on his behalf at any time. This water I have in this jar here, it is solid, and we can yet take this solid and put it into a thing called a refrigerator and affect the molecules and turn it into, this liquid and turn it into a solid by putting it in the freezer. It is the energy of this lower vibration called cold affecting this higher vibration of liquid water to change, while your thoughts and your emotions combined work much the same way as the way the energy in a freezer works. Your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts and the quality of your emotions organizes molecular information and substance. Your thoughts and your emotions organize molecular information and substance. Just as the thought open and close organizes the information and substance of this thing called a hand, so too can your thoughts and emotion affect space and time around the body, where you can think of someone and they call you, or you think of someone and you run into them on the street, or you look at somebody and they turn around and they you realize that you're looking at each other, that one precipitated the other. You are constantly, deliberately, or unconsciously affecting matter, deliberately creating your experiences, whether you are aware of that fact or not. Each and every one of you is affecting deliberate creation in your lives in any given moment. What does that mean in terms of how you can become more consciously deliberate in creating versus unconsciously random. Although the unconscious process is deliberate in and of itself, the fact that it is unconscious and causing conditions, events, and circumstances in your life that may not be desirable to you would make it important then to make that which is unconscious conscious, and that which you desire consciously to become unconscious. So as the digestive process in your body can automatically and unconsciously, relative to your awareness, unconsciously reorganize all of the food into different structures in your body, so too can you program emotion and thought to unconsciously organize conditions in your material world. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you can deliberately and consciously organize conditions deliberately in the world around you, as deliberately as your digestive system can organize food within your body? The relationship that exists within your body also exists in the world around you, but most of you have information, thoughts, and emotions that are unconscious. Imagine if all of the information and thoughts and emotions in your mind that were unconscious were beautiful and wonderful and exciting and playful. What then, if they were unconscious, what do you think would be happening? The water gets changed into ice, unaware that this temperature is affecting it. And before it knows it, now the water becomes ice. Does the water know it's ice? Does the water know that it is water? Does the water know that it can become even steam and invisible? Does the water know this? The water becomes that when it is affected, as your world around you has become what you have affected, most of it unconsciously. There are very few among you that are deliberately and consciously creating, unconsciously, deliberately, with ideas and information that are life-sustaining and life-giving for them. But it is unfortunate that most of you have not quite figured out that what you desire in your conscious mind must become unconscious. Go into your deep field, into the hidden recesses of spirit, into the hands of what you call the spirit or energy or the Father, into its hands, so it can carry forth your task as easy as you might hold a glass in your hand. It will do it. It will do it for you. It does it for all of you all of the time. The difference is, do you wish it to be a conscious process, or do you wish it to continue remaining an unconscious process? Your confusion and upset and disappointment is because much of what you create is done unconsciously. And you struggle greatly to try and create a few things consciously. You believe you have to work hard, and so you work very hard. And yet, when you eat your food, you don't think about how it gets processed in your body, and yet there's that intelligence in there that organizes your food on your behalf deliberately. What would be more preferential? That you could hand over your life to it and say, do this for me. Create my opportunities. Bring wonderful people into my life. Give us a better world. And then to take actions that correspond to what it is you desire. If you want a beautiful world, you would not think nasty things. If you want a wonderful life, you would have wonderful thoughts and wonderful emotions and wonderful actions. Wonderful unconscious actions. And many of you have many negative unconscious actions as to what you eat, as to what you drink, as to what you think, what you do not think. Many of this is outside of the scope of your awareness being deliberate and conscious. But once you become aware that the process of deliberate creation is something that always works for you, it always works for you, you move into the realm of the masters, where you participate in the creation and not get organized as being a part of the creation subjectively. Many of you feel like you are subjective to what is happening around you, not recognizing that you are part of what is happening around you, But the action seems to be the most difficult. The action seems to be the most difficult thing for you to consider. Deliberate creation works. It is working all of the time. It does not work sometimes and at others not. It always works. Always, always, always. Deliberate creation is working for each and every one that exists in this creation. It is working all of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, lifetime after lifetime. Would it not be best to become conscious in this understanding that you are deliberately creating the conditions in your world at all times? At all times. Even those things that you have going on in your life that you do not like are part of your deliberate creation process. Unfortunately, those things you do not like are mostly unconscious. And so you think you have no choice over them. You think they're happening to you, rather than examining your thoughts and your emotions, changing them and altering them to change and alter the conditions that some of you think you struggle with. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes. I'm just querying a little bit more about what would make it easier for us? What would make it easier for people to learn to become conscious in the deliberate creating process? It would be much easier to become conscious by recognizing what is occurring in your life in every given moment, and to recognize that your thoughts and emotions about what is occurring is sustaining what is occurring, and that the moment you release yourself from those fears, that you release yourself from the anger, that you release yourself from those emotions and their thoughts, and you release them from your body, you release them from your world. Miracles are natural phenomena of when a change has been made in the process of thought and emotion unconsciously, more so than consciously. So you must go into that place in your mind, be unafraid to examine those things that disturb you in the world, and consider how in my mind and heart do I keep this in here. My anger keeps that alive. My fear keeps that alive. My disappointment keeps that alive. And the thoughts about that keeps that alive. And then becoming conscious that you can choose something else, and then take that new idea, that new emotion, to bring it deeply into the cells of your body, to bring it deeply into the molecules of space and time. The new thought, the new emotion, and new thought and new emotion naturally generates new action. New thought, new emotion naturally generates new action, especially when that emotion is strong and powerful. And you are a deliberate creating organism. You can deliberately create strength and intensity of emotion, and you can diminish and release intensity of emotion as easily as you can bring joy into your heart and put it into your world. You can release fear, uncertainty, anger from it as well, turning the water into wine, changing that which appears one way to become another, the alchemical wonder of your being, able to affect the very substance of time, space, and matter deliberately, consciously, precisely. And you can look in your own mind and in your own heart and in the world around you, and you will know that what is in your mind is in your heart is in the world. And that when you change what is in your mind and in your heart, you change that which is in the world around you. Just as you can smile upon your face right now, you can smile upon your face and change your energy. And when your energy changes, your actions must change as long as you hold that energy. Your actions, your energy, you can choose to alter and change and control at will. By thy will it shall be done. By thy will it can be done. To become conscious that deliberate creation works only when you as awareness are conscious and deliberate in thought and in emotion. And thought and emotion, when combined, bring matter into being that holds matter together in very specific and precise ways. Thought being one, emotion being the other. They hold matter into very specific ways in your world. For you individually, for you collectively, thought and emotion organize the matters of your world. Even in your body. And if you have fear in your mind with thoughts of fear, then it will affect your matter. You change those thoughts, you change those emotions, you will change the matter. It is the process of turning the water into wine, right? Changing your thoughts and emotion changes the conditions of matter, the very substance of your life as it appears to be, into something brand new and completely different than what it was formerly. Deliberate creation is the nature of being aware and conscious. Your interaction with time, space, and matter, consciously articulated and engaged, induces profound changes when you are conscious. When you're unconscious, it seems to be very little change occurs. Many of you have gone through lifetime after lifetime of the same mundane expression and experience of being, agonizingly knowing that there is another way for you, and there is another way. There is another way. It's the way of being deliberate and awake and aware and conscious, knowing that you select and choose as an act of deliberateness, an act of conscious awareness. What is joy as a thought? What is joy as an emotion? What is joy as an action? What you think you want and how it feels, and what that determines as an action in your life organizes matter for you as easily as this body is moving in conjunction with the thoughts and emotions that we feel right now. The form always responds, matter always responds to energy, which is emotion. And you are able to deliberately select and choose both thought and emotion in any instant. Once you know you have this choice, the genie is out of the bottle and you will become free. When you know you have the choice that you may choose a thought or lose a thought, that you may choose an emotion or lose an emotion, that you can, by doing this, create and uncreate what is in your world, in your body, in your relationships, at any time. At any time. And so deliberate creation works. Will you employ your knowledge of this? Will you listen carefully? Will you explore and experiment? Will you dare to try changing your thoughts about what will happen this day or in this next moment? Will you consider the possibility that wonder is a choice of creation and not a matter of external circumstance, but that external circumstance is a matter of your conscious choosing? It is a matter of your conscious choosing. It is our hope you will understand the simplicity of what we're saying, that thought and emotion bring matter together into what you call your experience. Thought on its own, emotion on its own, but thought and emotion deliberately brought together, consciously, deliberately brought together, is organizing your world to be what it is wherever you are, whenever you are, however many of you there are. You are collectively collaborating and individually creating. And most of your collective collaboration is unconscious. But there are those who know what we say is very true, that the process of turning the water, matter, into wine, experience, is a reality not left to the mysticism of science, but to the practical capabilities that exist within each and every one of you as the alchemist, the awareness that is the alchemist, that can choose thought, that can choose emotion as an act of conscious choice. You do not need something outside of you to determine your thought and your emotion. You have a free will to do so, a free will to do so, and a free will not to do so. For there are many of you that, well, we will say that have gone lazy, have gotten used to the world doing it for you. Even if it is unpleasant and unhappy, you have deferred to allowing the world to take care of you. That is not very good. That is not how a universe is made. That is not how a solar system is made. That is not how a body is made. Deliberate creation is a conscious process whereby matter and emotion and thought collaborate in a dance called the medium of being and experience. And you may exercise your choice to do so, and you may not exercise your choice to do so. This is a free will zone. This place of conscious being is a free will zone. And you are free to surrender or defer your will, but you can never get rid of it. Eventually, you will have to exercise it one way or another. Whether it is for greater freedom or greater suffering, the choice is yours. But it is always a choice for all of you. Thank you. We will take some questions now. I'm just asking them why they decided to come through today, and they're saying we are at a very important point in our history. Yeah. That if you do not choose to be conscious and deliberate, then the naturally organic unconscious processes will operate much the same way as your digestive system operates. This world, this solar system, this galaxy in which you find yourself, and the many other beings that are within this galaxy, those that are conscious shall thrive and survive and evolve, and those that are less conscious will be like the apple being swallowed and organized by the very nature of the environment around it. So too, humanity faces this difficult process right now to either become conscious or remain unconscious, to continue to believe that the external environment is the sole cause of what you believe your experience is to be. It is not. You are the sole cause of the experiences that you have to experience today. Question. Hang on here. Just gotta find where I put those there. Okay, here we go. Question from Marigold. The word grace has been showing up for me lately. Is there a message for me in that? What you have been hearing today is grace. For if you understand that the simplicity of your thoughts and the simplicity of your emotions, consciously and deliberately chosen, become the manifestation of the conditions in your experience. It is your grace. Your whole life is your grace. The grace is experienced by all of you. Your grace. Your grace is thought and emotion, deliberately executed into the expressions. It is not so grateful when it is unconscious, but when it is conscious, it is very grateful. Question from Kelly Davis. I feel like I don't hold traumas because I don't remember them. My question is, are there traumas I don't know about that I need to release? Actually, yes, there is. Okay. Again, the very nature of your selection of words here, whether you know there is or whether you know there is not trauma, is important. If there are conditions in your life or in your body, remembering that your body is an environment that is external to your awareness, you as awareness, your body is external to you as awareness, although you can encompass mind, body, and matter with all of your awareness when you are ready for that. But you may simply look at the conditions in your body, the conditions that you call the experience of your individual life in your world. And if there is anything in it that is displeasing and unsatisfying, then you obviously have a thought, an emotion, consciously or unconsciously, within your system that is deliberately creating that condition or event. The difference between being a conscious and deliberate creator and an unconscious deliberate creator is, one, you tend to be disappointed or surprised, and the other is you know you are deliberately creating. It is not so much about the idea of trauma, but recognizing that if there are things that are not functioning in your body or in the world around you, that they are effects of combined thoughts and emotions that are organizing matter to be in that expression. You must simply just reorganize the thought and the emotion, and the matter will reorganize. Release it. The term forgiveness literally means to let go of. And so if you have conditions in your world that you do not like, conditions in your body you're unhappy with, then there are thoughts and emotions that directly correlate with that condition, whether you're aware of it or not. We would highly recommend you become aware of those conditions in your body or your world that displease you, and release the thoughts and emotions connected to them, and the conditions of matter will change as easily as this hand will open and close with that thought. But many of you think that is ridiculously simple, the idea that it is that simple to think it, and so it shall be done. But that is the truth. As you think, so it is done. Thank you, Kelly. Question from Janine. First, thank you. You're very welcome. My husband started to watch this with me. He asked if there are any messages for him. Thank you for your blessings. Wow. There is Archangel Michael is with your husband, has been with him for some time, and wishes to simply say, it is time to release that sadness from the depth of your heart and embrace the joy of what is now in your life. Look carefully. You will find and see joy in many places. Let that be your eye. Let that be your eye. Let joy be your eye. And you will release your suffering. Cool, I love that. Thank you, Janine. Thank your husband, too, for the question. Wonderful. Thank you. Question from Bita. Me and my fiance try so hard to be together and get married, but whatever we do, we don't find ways as this virus has banned us to travel. We are in 2 different countries, 4 hours away. I guess you're asking how this can be resolved. Yes, they're saying it's important you understand that the fear that you desire cannot be fulfilled. The fear that your desire cannot be fulfilled keeps this expression in being. You must understand, many of you have been conditioned to bind yourself to fear, to bind yourself to doubt, to bind yourself to anxiety. Many of you have been conditioned to be this way. You've allowed your will to be given to others. You've surrendered your will to others. And we would simply say to you to renew the joy of your union, not of its lack of fulfillment. Reassert your love and your unity in thought and in emotion. Stay very strong in your thought and your emotion of this unity. Heaven and earth will move for any soul that consciously and deliberately understands the laws of the Father's house. As you think and feel, so it shall be. Release your fear of this distance never being closed. Release your disappointment. Release your uncertainty. And you will see the world of matter bend to your request. Wow, thank you so much. That's a great question, Vida. Question from Carolyn. May I ask for a message from my higher self? I've been struggling with past negative thoughts of self-doubt. Thank you. Well, Carolyn, I would suggest 2 things to you. One is you might want to go to my website and go to the section on my courses and classes. We have our new Mediumship 101 course starting in just a few weeks' time. You might want to go look at that because you learn in our courses and classes how to actually do that. You need to understand that releasing old thoughts and old emotions from your body is a process. We hold everything in our body, right? They keep telling us this. Stop holding it in your mind. Stop holding it in your body. Go to my website, check out the courses and classes, come take these courses, learn to talk to your guides and your angels, learn to get advice coming from the divine source within you. It's within all of us, right? We have to keep creating these we have all these ascended beings coming to us to engage us in awakening ourselves to being what they are. Because in reality, we are what they are when we are awakened enough to that reality. But whenever you have a negative thought, simply let it go. You have no difficulty in picking up a glass or putting on your shoes. Simply take off those thoughts. Put down that thought. It is very simple. You just have to become aware that you are doing it. And when you do not hold that thought, it will not be in your life or in your heart or in your mind. Question from Tanya. I have been asked to work with an autistic child as a half-time caretaker in kindergarten. Any messages to assist me? Wow. Yes. You must understand that the movement to try and keep so many of you unconscious as to your capabilities to create is manifesting with these little dear ones that have been disconnected chemically from their conscious awareness. As you have yours, it is different. But these dear ones, they feel, while they are not connected in the conscious realm as you are, they are intimately connected in the unconscious realm. That is where they live and move and have their being, so many of these ones that you call autistic. They live and move in the divine realm where they feel and know things beyond what most know and feel. They do not hear your words as they will feel your feelings. Your trust with them is earned not in language. It is earned with them in your emotions, in your compassion, in your patience. They understand the language of energy more than they understand the language of thought, especially this one that you will be working with. They understand the language of energy more than they understand the language of thought and word. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that question. Question from Allison. Is there a message for me? I don't know why, but there's a dog, something about a dog coming in. It's like a black and gray husky shepherd cross. And it's coming, something about being behind you and on the right, coming to you. It's whatever. I think this is a spirit guide for you, but they're sitting in front of you, looking, and it's telling you to look to the left. Look the other way. I don't know what that means, but they're quite excited to be near you. But it's a white and gray kind of husky, coming to you, and something about looking to the left. What do you mean by that? Where you want to go is to look you've got to look the other way. You've got to look the other way to go. Yeah, they're with you anyway. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. I'm just gonna reset this live chat here. So I'm laughing because they're saying you don't need to do those things. They organize themselves, and they really do. Wonderful. Hi. Well, guys, listen. This has been amazing. I want to thank Master Jesus for coming by, and Archangel Michael, and that person's spirit guide. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. I really love them. And I learned as much as you guys do here. Yes. The choice has always been in your hand, your awareness, to deliberately choose consciously. You are free to do this. You are free to do this. You do not need to comply with anything that is not in harmony with your being. But you cannot use anything of a destructive nature to achieve good ends. You cannot use anything in thought, in emotion, or in action unless it is of good nature. If you wish to experience a world of good, then you must have a world of good within you. Be deliberate. Be deliberate this day in your creating. Be deliberate. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you like this content, you like the information that they bring through. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so you get a notification when I come live. We come live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do a meditation every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. On Supernatural Saturday, where we take the energies that they bring through for the 3 days, and then we do a meditation to integrate it into our biology so that it becomes more functional with us. I want to thank my Patreon supporters. If anybody wants to help support this work, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. We have a special monthly giveaway for a free reading with me. We also do a special patrons only live event once a month, which is really fun. So please, if you want to support this work, please consider doing that. I want to wish you all a wonderful, a joyful day. I want to thank you for your time, your patience, your energy, your questions are beautiful, wonderful. Have a great day. Bye for now, everybody.